Freedom fighters, I'm coming back at you on Valentine's Day with this Friday's weekly wrap up. We're going to cover some news, and I got a couple articles and stuff up here that, I just wanted to go over and talk about. But, after I watched over my last video, the Colion Noir response video, there was a few more things I wanted to talk about on there. I watched it over, and one of the things he was saying was, this executive order that President Trump signed, the protection of, Second Amendment rights and stuff. And he goes, we want to, solidify this. I forget exactly how he said it, but he's like, that the Second Amendment isn't just a mere slogan. And, that's what I've said for a long time. I did a video, I can't remember the name of that video now, but I think I also made a short out of it where I'm like, oh yeah, I think it was called they aren't bumper stickers. And, the Second Amendment community has, chanted and waved the signs for so long. The Don't Tread on Me has become like a famous bumper sticker. All these slogans, 1776, and just all this stuff, but we haven't really been about it. It's just been talk. And someone else was writing something the other day. Actually, it was John Crump. He did a short that was like, the ATF or the government, doesn't target criminals, or they're not going after these gang members and cartels. They're coming after the law abiding, patriots. And it's like, yeah, because the patriots don't shoot back. The criminals, the cartels, the gang members, they put up resistance. They want nothing more than guns in the hands of you law-abiding patriots. Because they know that this does nothing. These people don't affect us. There's no resistance. There's no 1776 spirit in these people. That's just a bumper sticker and a slogan they slap on the back of their vehicle or wave around at some rally. But it really doesn't mean anything. But anyway, man, I'm going to cover some of these other articles. Go back and watch that video if you want more on that. And, if you're new here, that's kind of what we cover, mainly pertaining to First and Second Amendment rights. But yeah, I mean, on another note, yeah, one of the things I got here was, I don't know if you saw this Elon Musk tweet. He was in the Oval Office and he was talking about, all the stuff he's doing with Doge. And he tweeted out, we are in need of a second revolution, or a second revolution is needed. And he goes on to talk about, how he's investigating all these agencies and, all the red tape and all the stuff people getting in his way. And Jack Posobiec posted something as well. He was like, oh, they're not, they're getting in the way. And from the very beginning is what I said. The whole 4 years is going to be another stall tactic. Just like the first 4 years. It's all going to be about stalling and getting things wrapped up into court cases and impeachment hearings. They've already talked about starting up, again, more impeachment, articles of impeachment coming. And, nothing's going to get done. And Elon pretty much came to the conclusion, like, is it going to come to the second revolution? And like I've always said, man, like, you're not going to vote your way out of it. They're never going to allow you to do what you want. And that's what he was saying. He was like, we don't live in this elected democracy, which we're not supposed to anyway. But I know that's just like the saying that everyone uses. But he's like, we live in a bureaucracy where, if the people voted for this and then, like this is what they wanted, and then you can't get it done because, House and Senate won't vote on it. The politicians, won't really investigate. They won't do anything. Activist judges, strike it down. The Supreme Court won't take up the case. It goes nowhere. you're just caught up in the red tape and the bureaucracy of entrenched, deep state government, then what other conclusion can it lead you to than, this is going to come to a revolution, that war is coming. And it's pretty much, what I've always talked about. um and there was another guy. Who was it? Actually, I think it was Mark Fugel. He was covering that the other night, and his co-host Dax was like, "Oh, I sure hope not. I don't want a second revolution." And again, neither do I. I mean, we don't want this to happen because, like I've discussed multiple times, it's going to be the bloodiest, dirtiest war that there ever has been. Um, I mean, I think that's why they're trying to push us to World War III, because a revolution or a civil war within our country is going to absolutely decimate this country. But, you look at it like, what's the alternative? Just sit around and allow it to keep happening and let this entrenched, corruptive deep state government just continue to exist and never get anything done and just go along with the status quo that we're currently living in? Um, but Dax was like, if we have to have a revolution, or if it comes to that, we failed this nation. And as a patriot, I don't want to admit that this country has failed. Man, we're past that, Dax. Admit the failure. And I've said this before many times. Like, people are holding on to the corpse. They're not willing to let go. The person, they're gone, right? They've passed. Yeah, I know we're in the mourning stage where we don't want to, it's the what is that, the denial stage, where you're like, we don't want to admit that it's happened, admit that they're gone. We cling on and lie to ourselves that no, it can still be saved, they're still coming back. Do some more CPR compressions, hit them with the defibrillator. It's like, no, man, they were gone 30 minutes ago. They were gone an hour ago. 5 hours, 8 hours ago. Like, they're gone. Next day, oh, maybe they're gonna find something. No, dude, they're gone, right? Like, the country is gone. We have collapsed. We're way past that point, man. And I saw that one lady on Twitter post a tweet to, what's her name? Vandersplet or something like that. She's one of these like European, um, God, I can't even remember her name right now, but she wrote a tweet of something. There was a recent, another a parade attack, from a migrant, and she goes, people talk about a civil war is coming. She's like, it's here. We're getting these attacks from migrants all the time, and the blood is running in the streets. Why do people refuse to believe that the war is already here? And that's because they would have to act upon it. Which is what I've always said. People just want to live the rat race, man. They wanna be the hamster on the treadmill, and they just want to continue on, with the daily rat race. And they know if they actually had to engage and react to these situations, it's going to get ugly. So they rather just sit there and let them play out, until it becomes them or their family member, that gets, wrapped up in all this. But, and then on to the next thing. I see, I posted here, we got our new leader of the Pentagon, Pete Hegseth, and he got confirmed, and he's been posting, the propaganda is running wild. And like I said, they're going to be pushing people to join the army, and all the patriots are like, it's our country again, and the military's back in order. And he's posting pictures working out with the troops, and you got your quintessential looking white G.I. Joe looking character, Captain America looking dude out there, and they're just giving you the propaganda, man. Signing up for the military, go die for your country that hates you and will do nothing for you. And if you were ever to act on your own within this country, they throw you in a prison because they don't want any parts of that. They want you out there in foreign lands, fighting for oil and mineral rights and whatever agendas to push. But yeah, I mean, going on to these confirmations, JFK also recently got confirmed, and it was just crazy that it was on the same day that they announced the JFK um, assassination reports or whatnot. They're going to be looking further into that. Supposedly they found like 2,000 more papers or something on it. Who knows what's really going to come with that? I mean, you have this Rep Paulina saying that the single shooter, Oswald's story doesn't seem entirely true and there could have been other people in it, which he admitted. Well, from day one, he was always like, I'm innocent or I'm just being the patsy here. And, that's why they took him out. they got to silence people like that. But yeah, man, that whole situation always reminded me. I don't know if you saw the movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg. I definitely like that movie, and I can definitely see them, pulling stuff off like that again. The who knows what these three-letter agencies are capable. Well, we know what they're capable of. Talking about confirmations, we got the Kash confirmation coming up. Supposedly voting on that next week. Again, man, I hold my breath for like anything to come out of any of this stuff. Like, do I think Kash is gonna save the agency? And like I said in one of my previous videos, man, like people, they need to come in these agencies and just literally wipe it clean and dissolve the agency. I know they were saying about the Department of Education that he put up what's her name, McMahon or something like that, and that they were gonna dissolve the agency. That's what we need in the leadership of the ATF, the FBI, all these agencies. They just need to come in, fire everybody, and basically be like, it's done. This kind of corruption, and it can't be, fixed. But like I said, they all want to fight for power. They want to wield the power of government. So they'll let it be. And the FBI supposedly was leaking ICE raids and all this stuff. The traitors are within the government. And the whole threats, Pam Bondi was like, we're going to hold these people accountable. They're going to get arrested and sent to prison. Well, what happens when one of these federal judges just refuses to sentence them? Or, absolves their sentencing, or, sentences them to, your humiliation and, time served, you're going to get a little bit of probation. Or even if they end up in prison, the next administration, which is going to be liberal, I'm readying you all for that. The pendulum will swing, and like I said, they're going to stall this out. And then, in 3.5 years now, they're going to come back and be like, oh, this is the guy who leaked the ICE raids, or this is the federal judge who, wouldn't allow them to stop transgender military surgeries or whatever, and they're just going to set them out. And then, probably give them bunches of, money, and so they can live off their life, lavish, as their reward for, being an activist judge or FBI member or whatnot. Nothing is going to happen to these people. Nothing is going to change. And this other thing I saw here, I saw this on Marf, and, I was looking into it. The hacker group Anonymous posted again, and they came out with some super woke message that just like seemed crazy, but they're just like, this new administration is bringing fear amongst our diverse communities and against the equity of populations. And it's like, what? Like, did Anonymous go woke But a lot of people were saying that this isn't even the real Anonymous, that they posted a while back on one of their videos, and they were like, we're not posting again. This is like, they kind of dropped the mic and we're like, we're out. We're still doing stuff behind the scenes. I saw one people saying that um, they broke off into the Q organization or whatnot, but this post was absolutely retarded, and I highly doubt it's the original Anon members. And people were saying, no, that was actually like CIA. That was probably government putting out that video because it sounded too aligned with straight up like woke globalist, policies and agenda. Like it lined up right, with that stuff. But anyway, man, I'm just going to keep it there for your weekly wrap up. And let me know what you guys think. Until the next one, man, you know what it is. We are on our own. Nobody's coming to save us. So get right with God, because only God can save you. Freedom Fighters out.